Good evening, everyone. Ali Safi here, Safi Financial Network. Today is February 24, 2025. Another daily analysis. All right, starting with Berkshire Hathaway. We just hit new all-time high today. Warren Buffett just crushing the market nicely to new all-time high with a fantastic report, and he was kind of like a warning of Washington as well, based on his wordings. But all in all, I should say Berkshire Hathaway, BRK.B, just a slash, that's kind of like a short version of the Berkshire Hathaway, just going to new all-time high today. $500 hit for first time in the history. So I was kind of like looking for kind of like a corrective move to the downside, but seems like Berkshire is doing fantastic job. So Warren Buffett, there is a big name in the stock market, and that's why everyone is relying on that legend. All right, and moving on to S&P 500. Let's go to S&P 500 daily chart. So it's going to have another correction to the downside. A market just going down below SMA 50. Also, it's just getting below 6,000 level. I would say a market can go down to 5950 or even 5900-ish, so 5925. But I'm not sure if we get below 5900, because if we get below 5900, then 5824 is going to be on the radar for the market, and it's going all the way back to January 14, 2025. So that's important pivotal point as well, because that pivot initiate rally to new all-time high. So that's very important right now. I would say stochastic momentum fast line is getting to oversold condition, and also we are just looking for a kind of like a reversal down the road in a future day. NVDA earning is going to be on Wednesday, so that's going to be another market mover. All in all, I should say market is in bullish momentum, so any corrective move could be a buying opportunity. If we get a deeper correction, if we get below 5,800, I would say we are gonna just heading for a bigger choppy momentum to the downside. So that would be kind of like a very volatile price action. Right now, I would say there is no single signal for that one. If something happen, I'm gonna change my analysis, but right now I would say market is in a corrective move within this bullish momentum or within this bull market. Moving on to Nasdaq, which is kind of like the same scenario here. We just got a bad day for big techies, I would say, especially semiconductors as well. So it's just going down, crushing SMA 50 to the downside. I would say 21,000, that's the level for Nasdaq. We can get a deeper corrective move to 20,200 to 20,400, but I would say that's going to be less likely, because we are going to get below January pivot and we are entering to a red territory. Not for now, based on my cycle, but everything could be happen. Not for now, but if we see something like in potentially April afterwards, I would say June, July, August, to the downside, I'm kind of like looking for that one. But right now, I would say this correction could be a great buying opportunity. If we see a reversal sign, I'm just looking for a reversal sign somewhere around 21,000. Moving on to Dow, which just forming a better a kind of like a performance today. Here's the Dow Jones. We just got a doji bar here on a very, very decisive moment for Dow Jones, 43,500. That's the level that we mentioned that one. We got a bearish candle on Friday, so let me just clean this one. And this is going all the way to this breaking out a line here around 43,380. So that line, along with this demand area, initiate a nice rally to new all-time high. So we just got here today and on Friday as well, just back testing. If it is kind of like a forming a bearish consolidation, this means it's not good. We are going to just hit all the way down to 42,000 potentially to test this pivot and even lower low. But right now, I would say everyone is kind of like looking for NVIDIA to see how NVIDIA and semiconductors are reacting to that level. Earning is going to be very important for NVIDIA. Moving on to gold. Gold just hitting the all-time high, new closing all-time high today. It's just that keep grinding higher. I would say 3,000 is going to be important level. Folks, be careful on the next week. So next week, starting next week, I'm just looking for a gold corrective move to the downside. So we'll see how it goes. The reason is just the cycles and the period that I'm looking at. Gold is a stretched over tooth, and it's kind of like, anyways, if you want to slice it and dice it, it is going up parabolically, and it's due for corrective moves. So any correction to this at 2800, that would be great buying opportunity. Right now it doesn't give us any kind of like a corrective move. Silver is not following the gold, so that's another kind of like the scenario that I'm just looking for as a like a shifting the momentum to the downside. So I know gold is going to the upside, but silver doesn't have follow through. So we need to see these two precious metals are going at the same time to the higher high 34. That's the area that I'm looking at. But right now, silver is just having a pullback. So this pullback, if it follows through with a rally, so that rally can initiate another potential double top or even higher high to 34 to $36. If it doesn't, which is kind of like a forming a kind of like a reversal on the SMA 20, but if it doesn't, silver can go down to $30 for finishing its corrective move. So we'll see how it goes. Moving on to crude. Crude just forming a reversal today after ending diagonal is forming. So right now it's just forming a very choppy, I would say, sloppy consolidation here. We need to see this one breaking through to the upside above 74. So as long as crude is not breaking through above 74, we can't make a bullish case. But if we get above 74, which obviously there is a huge divergence here in MACD, stochastic, and also RSI as well. So you'll see that here's the higher high and higher low, while price is forming a lower high, lower low. So this means there is a huge divergence, but this divergence needs to confirm with a breaking through above 74. So if we get above 74, that would be a fantastic scenario for crude for a potential another rally to the upside, potentially 83 to $84. So we'll see how it goes. Moving on to Bitcoin, which is crushing to the downside right now. So this is a very weak price action. As I said before, and 90,000 is going to be very important level. Bitcoin now it's getting below this pivotal point, which is very, very important. Right now, the only trench is going to be 90,000. So as you see here, we have lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, and here is the all-time high. And this one is following through today nicely to the downside. We are out of our crypto positions. Actually, we manage it very well. So I'm just looking for 74 to 76,000 for a great buying opportunity, because I would say that's going to be a huge buying opportunity. That's going to be monthly and weekly buying opportunity. Look at these pivots, and here is the demand area that initiate this rally to new all-time high. So if we get to 74, 76,000, that would be great buying opportunity. We'll see how it goes. Moving on to Ethereum. Ethereum is the same. So it's just going down. This capitulation doesn't have follow through, so Ethereum can go down again to 21 to 2200. Moving on to US bond yield just going down as well here. So this is kind of like the fantastic scenario for bond yield. And as I just see here, we may see potentially a lower low, a breaking through the downside to sub 4%. So we'll see how it goes with bond yield. Treasury just getting back to the upside nicely. We are just getting above this trend line here, and we can just manage a potential higher high if we get above $90. So right now it's at 89.97. So if we get above 90, that would be a huge, I would say, structure breakout to the upside. So I'm kind of like a bullish on Treasury, especially on the short term. So if we get above 90, 93 to 94, then 108 to 105 is coming down the road. So we'll see how it goes with Treasury. Moving on to VIX, just spiking higher today. It was negative, but last hour trading session closed positive $18.98. It can go to 20 as well. Moving on to Dixie. Dixie is just forming a lower high, lower low here. So this is kind of like the scenario that I was looking for. If we get kind of like a market capitulation, we are gonna see a US dollar demand. But right now, I would say Dixie is following what bond yield is doing. So bond yield is going down. This means Dixie is gonna go down as well. Moving on to Apple. Great move today for Apple in a red day. So this means news and Donald Trump and Tim Cook actually just hit the price higher. 500 billion investment in US for next for this year and next year. That's huge. That's huge actually investment by Apple in US. So that's kind of like a great news for Apple potentially. If it establish itself around a 244 to 248, that can hit new all-time high. Moving on to Amazon, which is not good price action. Amazon breaking through to the downside. So this is not symmetrical trend line, folks. What do I mean? Like, look at this, the distance here, and then there is no touch, and then the next touch is here. So this is not symmetrical trend line. And when there is no symmetry within trend line, it has high probability to fail. And today we just got the failure, but Amazon can go down to 200 to 208, 204, and that's a lot of support here. So this demand area, this breaking through to the upside, this is a gap filled gap window. Everything is there. So I would say $204 to $208. That's the area that buyers are going to come back. Moving on to Meta after hitting the all-time high, it's just going down 668. I would say 640. That's the area for Meta. Moving on to Microsoft, going down and touch 400, bounce back up 404. If market is going down, Microsoft can go down, but I would say there are lots of buyers here, 380 to 400. There are lots of buyers. Moving on to Google. Google just going down, gapped up positive nicely today, but managed negative. So this is the gap that everyone is kind of like paying attention, because if it goes below this, that's going to be a waterfall all the way to 140. Moving on to Netflix, just reversing to the downside. I would say Netflix at 812 to 930. That huge $120 is going to be a buyer area. So we'll see. Moving on to Tesla. Tesla hit the double bottom here, 320 and 330. So I would say Tesla 300 to 320. That's the area for buyers are coming back, and potentially that's the end of the corrective move. SMH, which is Semiconductor Index, just had another ugly day like Friday, just going down. I don't know if it's gonna be just pre kind of like a signal to all investors on NVDA, which we are gonna go all the way down to 200 area, which is gonna test this area, or that's gonna be kind of like a buying opportunity before earning. It's kind of like a 50-50. It's gonna be a coin toss call, and I'm not gonna call that one. But based on the price action, as long as we are above 230, we should give market benefit of doubt. This is a choppy range. Every single time when we get there, buyers are coming back again. Stocks, the same pattern here, the same choppy consolidation. 208 is gonna be the support. We are finishing a very bad day today as well for semiconductors. Taiwan Semiconductor just following all the way down to 191.65, and if we get below this 187, it can go all the way down to test this pivot. I would say it can go even lower to 155. All in all, I should say semiconductors are rolling over unless there is a good news with NVIDIA and market sentiment is changing to the positive territory. AMD is the same. So this stock is just going down. Just look at the all-time high, 228, and right now we are at 108. More than almost 60% to the downside. Crazy move. And this is obviously a good buying opportunity, but as long as market sentiment doesn't follow, so this stock can go lower and lower, and no one is going to pay attention unless people are waking up and say, hey, this is very undervalued. Moving on to NVIDIA. NVIDIA just hitting this trend line going down. Is this going to be a reverse head and shoulder? We will see. So still, it is not forming. I would say still it can go down to 124 for a potential pre-earnings. So if you see tomorrow ugly session, the market is coming back. So that's going to be like a shakeout news for the market. So we'll see how it goes. Moving on to Texas Instrument, just the reversing to the downside. Texas, it was positive, but ended up negative. So this rejection means there is more correction to the downside. Moving on to Lamb Research. Lamb Research is going down as well. So this is kind of like the corrective move. It can go lower to $80 for a test area. XLF, which is financials, Doji bar, positive finish today, but not strong. So I would say if it consolidates here, it's going to go down. Moving on to KBE going down as well. So $56 is down, and we can go another dollar down to $55. KRE just hitting to the support area. So this is very interesting. $60 for KRE is very important. JP Morgan 254, that's the area that I'm looking at for support. We're getting close to that one. Goldman Sachs is just touching this demand area and bounce back up. If it goes lower to 600, that would be the scenario for Goldman. Moving on to Bank of America, $43 is my book here. And Wells Fargo is just going down today as well. So we may see some kind of like a gap fill around $71. Moving on to the gold miners. Gold miners actually managed positive today. So which is not bad at all. Still holding up this area. But I would say if gold is losing its momentum, gold miners can go all the way down to here. GDXJ, the same price action here. Nice hammer here, but we need to see a follow through. AEM managed positive here. Still bull flag consolidation. Not a bad setup. Newmont, but ugly, going down $44. We sold out our Newmont here, and look what happened after that. Moving on to the gold barrick. Gold barrick is down $18.27 close today. And moving on to the XLE energy market, just forming a nice, kind of like I would say, reverse cup and handle. So if you see that, here's the cup and here's the handle. So we need to see another tackle to this $92, 92.93, and that would be kind of like a signal for the structure shift to the upside. Right now, it doesn't confirm yet, but stay tuned for that one. Crude is forming a bottom as well, so keep an eye on that one. OIH just going down. This is lagging. This is not forming very well. And Exxon just forming a good bullish consolidation here, choppy area. And also we have a W pattern here. So we need to trigger above 112. So if it goes above 112, we may see another tackle to 115. And also here is the high here of 124. Moving on to the Chevron. Chevron still forming up very well. So I like this stock here. So we are just forming a choppy zigzag to the upside. We are forming a nice higher lows here. Here's the low, here's the higher low, here's the higher low. And we need to cross above 160 to 162. If we get above 162, I would say Chevron can hit to new all-time high as well. So we'll see how it goes. All right, folks. I believe I covered everything. If you like this video, please smash the like button, subscribe to our channel, and have a good one. See you on the chart. Bye-bye.